Hello. Good evening. Here we are tonight. Friday's Hope. I'm Sue Barnhart, and this is Friday's Hope, a time where I share hope with everyone, everywhere, for every day. Because we all need hope every day, don't we? So I was going to talk about one or two things tonight, but to be perfectly transparent, it has been a lot going on in my life all of a sudden. So I thought, I'm going to talk about all the things that are going on. I'm going to talk about several things that have been going on, because it isn't just one or two things right now in my life. I think I've come to the end of it. I think I've resolved the last issue. Praying it is. But here we go. I'm Sue Barnhart, and I'm one of the ministers at the Worship Center, and this is Friday's Hope. And as I said, there have been a ton of situations. So we're going to talk about what we do when life comes at us all at once, everything at once. Boom, boom, boom. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to talk about what we need to do and what we're going to have to do to get through some of these things. Now, I know my issues, my struggles are not as big as others, but the principles still apply. And the struggles are still there for all of us, regardless. So I'm just going to go through my week with you and just share some things. Okay, first, my phone started acting up. The only phone I have is my cell phone. I have one cell phone, that's it. If you called me, my phone would go straight to voicemail. If I called out, it would drop the calls, or I wouldn't get through at all. Very awkward when you're trying to talk to a doctor. I end up going, thank God she's there, going to my neighbor's, asking her if I could use her cell phone so I could call my doctor back about an appointment they were setting up for me. We got that resolved. I told them what was going on, and just kept moving forward. Next thing, I retired. Yay! That's a great thing. Not working for my home health agency anymore. But my income decreased, of course. And then all the insurances that one needs when one retires. I already had part of Medicare, but I had to get another 2 parts of it. And all I heard all around me is December 7th deadline, gotta get it. And I couldn't get a hold of one of the people that was going to help me with some of it. I was able to get Part B, that was taken care of. And I was able to get another subscription service to take care of some of the things, but I needed this one guy to call me. And I called, I left voicemails, nothing. And we had talked before, and he said, yeah, we'll help you. And of course, it's a bit of a maze getting through some of those governmental websites and getting through some of those sites to get some of that insurance. So I've been working on that since November, just to kind of get some of this stuff straightened around, because I knew there was a December 7th deadline. I knew this had to be done. Next thing, I wanted less expensive car insurance. I don't drive anywhere anymore, hardly. I mean, I go see my kids out of state, but pretty much I've become a stay-at-home person. I love it because I don't have to work anymore. But I wanted less expensive car insurance. So I go to the guy that I've gone to all my life. He's always been great at everything. He's been very honest with me. He's done a great job all the time about taking care of me. I walk in there. He says, oh, I need such and such. Now, that's never happened to me before. Back to the apartment I go and find all the paperwork he needs. And that day was what I called Murphy's Law Day. Everything I tried to do ended up not getting done, or ended up taking twice as long and twice as much energy and effort. And I almost got hit by somebody that pulled out of a parking space and just zoomed past me even though I was there. Thank God I didn't get hit. But it just kept happening all day long, things like that. Little things, big things. So I got back to the insurance company with all this paperwork. And then he says, well, I hope the other insurance company takes this information. I'm not sure if it's enough. Have we gotten into security issues or what? So I've known this guy, and I thought, all right, it's going to be easy. Not. It was not. So I found the paperwork. I got back, gave him the stuff, and now we're wondering if the insurance company took it. Next, went to make my car payment on the site that I make it all the time. Do all the things. Kind of a pain in the tail about this site because it requires so many different passwords and security codes just to make a payment. And so I got through all that. I did all that. I put in all numbers about 3 different times. I did the amount. I got to the end. I put it in. I said submit. And I got this reading across the screen in these red letters. There was a problem with the flow in this transaction. Please contact your administrator. What? I've never seen that before, and I've been on computers for a lot of years. The flow of this transaction, contact your administrator. I'm the administrator. I'm the one doing this. So I just logged off. I thought, fine. And so I called up the next morning, and sure enough, my payment did not go through. So when I talked to the lady, she said she had never seen that or heard about that before either. I'm telling you, Murphy's Law was trying to really get me that one day. So she took the payment. Praise God, she set aside the fee for taking it over the phone because she said it wasn't my fault or anybody's. It was just something weird. So I got my car payment taken through. Then an event popped up with some people that I dearly love, that I used to be around, and I had to say no. No, I'm not going to do this anymore. They're toxic for me. I love them. I love being with them, but I know what it does to me. Hi, Terry. Good seeing you. I know what it does to me. So I had to tell these people, no, I'm sorry. I can't do this. I love you dearly, but I just can't do this anymore. They understood, but I felt really deeply empty and alone because I had always hung with these people and we had a good time. We have a great conversation together. Hey, Darcy, how are you, dear? Good to see you. But when I told them no, there was kind of this letdown, you know, and I just didn't know what to do. And lastly, I was going to a couple of sites online. I knew I should have known to just not even try and go on my computer. But I went on a couple of sites online, some sites I always go to, and boom, spam jumped up on the screen. So I immediately turned off my laptop because I know I am not going to even try and connect with them. When I went back on, guess what? I couldn't get on my computer because my password got changed on it to one of my old ones. Like I remember that. So now I can't even print off a copy of anything I need for anybody. I can't even get into Word, let alone the internet. So I'm on my phone. And by the way, this tablet is proof that I didn't have a laptop. I wrote this all out last night, about 8 pages. I thought, well, I know how to do this, and I know how to do references without getting on the internet. My hand actually got tired. I was surprised. So it's been a week. Everything that I tried to put my hand to just messed up. Oh, my phone. In the beginning, I was talking about my phone. So my daughter pays for my phone. So I called her up. I needed a new phone anyway, okay? And so I called her up. My son's working at an agency that's selling phones. They had a great sale, better now than never. Called my daughter up. She said, sure, not a problem. Go ahead, Mom. Next, he tried to do it, but because I was not the primary, the one that pays the bill, he couldn't get into my service. Calling my daughter back. She goes, I'll call you back after dinner. They're out at dinner, so I'm hanging out at the shop waiting for her to call. Nothing against her. I just needed her to call, and she's in the middle of dinner with friends. So she calls back. She goes, sure, I can make you the authority or the authorize you or whatever that is. So she went to do it. I couldn't get on. Could not get on. And if I can't get on, then my son can't get on. Fine. He finally gets on, but for whatever reason, I'm saying, you know what? I'm going to go home. I'll be back in a couple of days to get it. So even trying to get this phone was an issue. Before, I didn't have those type of issues. So everything that I tried to do was a mess. Not just one or two problems, 1 or 2 days, but 5 or 6 all week long. I was starting to get a little paranoid about even trying to do anything because I thought, okay, something's going to happen. I just, you start to get a little paranoid than that. So, not 1 or 2 problems, but and a lot of them aren't a big deal. I get that. But, and yes, I've been told to get my butt out of the way, but this is several problems over the last week. I don't even remember how all this started or when it started. I just know it was still going and going and going, kind of like the Energizer Bunny, okay? So what do we do when we have issues like that? You know me, I start praying. It gets a little heavy to carry all that stuff on you, It gets a little frustrating. You're wondering when this deluge of problems is going to end, or if something else. I'm starting to feel a little like Job, in the Bible, where he lost everybody in his family and all his stock and all his money and all his health. Well, it wasn't that bad, but it was starting to get a tad heavy. Okay, so I just went, okay. It's shock when something else goes wrong. It was difficult. What happened to my peaceful life, my easy life? When's this going to stop? Maybe these aren't some big issues to some of you, but it got a little heavy after a while. So what do I say? First, I reached out to God and said, help, help. What do I do? So the phone, back up to the first situation, we were able to get on. We were able to get, hi, Kirk, good seeing you. My phone, we were able to get on. We were able to get all the things we needed. And I was able to get a new phone. Wonderful. I come home and the phone still is not working. It was never my phone. It was the service. It's the company that's having problem. Now, get this. It's only in my area, the place I live, not anywhere else. If I leave my apartment complex, I can use my phone great. Only in here. But I reached out. My son, I had to buy a block to plug it in because all of mine had so I had to go back and admit I needed a block. All of mine, the little plug-in placey was too big, so I had to go back and get a block. Told my son, hey, I'm still having trouble. So he came over after he got off work and said, I'll call him. And so he called him. So they did some checking, and there's a tower, just one tower that's running weak, she said. It's weak. You think? So that the first thing is we call out to God. And second of all, we reach out to other people that can help you. It's important to do that. And that's what I say time and again. I prayed and I prayed. I said, God, what do I do? God, help me with this. God, I have time limits. Next, we're talking about Medicare. Oh, that was amazing. I had time limits. I thought, keep that. I thought I was running up against him. I had to get this, that, and the other thing. So I had A. Any of you know about Medicare. I had Medicare A. I needed to get Medicare B. I found an easy site. I could get that taken care of. Then I got I needed a subscription system or something for some of my other stuff. And then I needed a drug group plan. So I got all three of those. The drug plan is where I ran into the problem. This guy is so busy. He's apparently very good because he's never in the office. And I left the voicemails, did all that stuff. Very good, except I needed to talk to him. So he gets on, finally calls. Well, you know how I got him? I called the office again, and the receptionist was so sweet. She goes, well, he's on the phone. Can you leave a message? I said, no, I've done that. Can I just stay on the phone and wait for him? Well, it might be a while, ma'am. That's okay. I would have waited all day at this point because I thought I was having to deal with this December 7th time thing. So he gets on the phone. You know, we exchange pleasantries and stuff. Come to find out, that December 7th didn't apply to me because I already had some other things in place with Medicare. They don't tell you that on the commercials. They don't tell you that in the ads. They just say, oh, you got to get it, you got to get it. Me, being new to Medicare, had no idea. And so he's telling me, oh, no, you're okay, Miss Cole, Miss Barnhart. I read Kirk's last name when I looked down. You're okay, Miss Barnhart. You're fine. You're not going to have a problem. I'll call you back tomorrow. And that was yesterday. And we got everything together. All I'm doing is waiting for the insurance company to contact me. That's it. That's it. So my son, I reached out to my son. I reached out to God. Let me tell you about me praying. Hello. Let me tell you about praying. I'm praying in the middle of the store where my son's working to try and get this new phone hooked up. I'm praying in the middle of this insurance company to try and get this new insurance for me. I'm praying on the phone and on the laptop while I'm trying to do all this. I think it has to do with insurance. Hi, Pam. I hope you're feeling better. And so I'm silently praying. So the phone wasn't the issue, even though I needed a new phone. It was the phone line. I got my Medicare, okay? So let me see where I'm at with my notes. And so my son called the company. I kept praying. We got a hold of somebody. That all by itself is a miracle when you have to deal with large companies. First of all, he couldn't call them on my phone. It wouldn't even go through to their own lines, let alone anybody else. So he had to use his phone. And then he had to help my neighbor downstairs because she was having trouble with hers too. So I called that I spoke before with my Medicare. He'd been highly recommended. He offered me to give him a voicemail again. I waited. I was going to wait. And the receptionist was so sweet. She'd get on the phone. Are you still okay? Oh, I'm okay. I'm going to stay on this phone until I'm even better because I need to talk to this guy, but I didn't tell her all that. He got on. He was so good. I think it was a move of God that I called just in time. Hi, Tina. Just in time that he's on the other line. He's in the office, first of all. Second of all, he's talking to me. He's very nice and kind. He's just super busy. That means he's good. However, I needed to call him. I needed to take care of him, I thought. I thought the December 7th timeline was for me. Come to find out it wasn't. I didn't have to worry about that at all. Who knew? I am new to Medicare. I had no idea. All I know is I heard and talked to everybody. I even had friends say, oh, you better get done. But by the time December 7th comes along, or you're going to have huge fees for not having Medicare. So I didn't know. And apparently nobody else knew either. But he got on there and he took care of it. And I discovered through all that there's additional help for us folks on Medicare and other things that are less than adequate in finances, now that I retired, not quite as much money is coming in. There's help for us out there. Financial help. And of course, there's always Link and those type of things. But there's other things out there to help us old folks, those of us who are older than Ken. And so I found that out. So I thought, okay, I'm going to contact her. My car insurance. He looks at the paperwork and he says, okay, I hope the insurance company takes this. I hope the insurance company, the other insurance company he was trying to get for me, will take this. But this isn't all the information, but da-da-da-da-da. So I put everything in. And he says, if I have a problem, I'll call you. I said, okay. And if I have a problem, because they're liable to call me on my or send me an email, they're having a problem, I'll call you. He said, okay, not a problem. Well, it never happened, and God made it all right, and I have new car insurance that is much less expensive than what I did have. And it's like the car insurance was a day after I left that office. I came home and prayed and said, God, let me find the paperwork. Opened my desk, it was right on top. Now, that never happens. If any of you have ever been near my desks or my drawers, let me tell you, organization is not my high point, and the paperwork was right on top. And I was able to get the cheaper insurance. Like I said, I called the lady at the bank. I was able to make my my car payment. Cutting that part of the relationship with this group of friends was hard. I know they're toxic for me, but I love these friends and I love the situation at one time. And if I was not, wow, yeah, I get it, Kurt. If I was not born again believer and I loved Jesus so much and I absolutely loved where I'm at, it would have been very easy for me to go back there. But I was determined I was not going to go there. Same kind of experience, Pam? Yeah. We'll have to sit and have coffee someday and talk, commiserate. Anyway, I love these group of people. I love what we were doing together, et cetera, but it's toxic for me. So I have to take care of me, and I have to walk with Jesus. I have to walk stronger with Jesus. So I said goodbye. I said, I love you, but I can't do this anymore, and it felt hard. It hurt. Even though I know it's toxic for me, it's hurt. Y'all ever been in that situation where you love something you were doing, but it was toxic? It doesn't even have to be something bad. It has to be, something that is not good for you. And I felt lonely, and I felt sad, and I felt a bit empty. And I told God that, and he reminded me to get out of this. Then when I was contacted by him, he reminded me, I told you to get out of this a while ago. In no uncertain terms, he was quite clear. Don't anymore. Okay. So I just kind of went to the church office, did my thing there, and I had a friend call me, and she got me laughing so much. And we just started joking around about some silly stuff I can't even tell you. Then I started doing some work at the worship center. I started sending letters out to a couple of young men that are in prison, and I started taking care of some things. And, it was okay after a while. So what does that mean? That means we reach out. That means other people come into our life when we're going through. I didn't even have to mention the situation or the issue to anybody. That means we help others while we're going through. I had these letters written. That was another thing, trying to get that printed. But we won't go there. So then, I took care of some business. Then my laptop locked me out. This is the last of the major struggles. I said enough is enough. That's it. I'm done. I packed my stuff up in my computer case, and it was close to 4, so I said, I'm going home. I am done. I am done with all of this. Enough is enough. I came home. I made myself a hot cup of coffee, which I don't do very often. I drank that. I ate some supper. I colored. I love coloring. Yes, I did. I did word circle puzzle books, which I don't do usually. Hi, Tara. Good seeing you, honey. And I just didn't do much of anything. Remember we talked about how God gave Elijah rest, and he fed him, and he just fed him. He said, you rest, for the journey's going to be heavy. Yeah, that's what I did. And it's okay to do that in the middle of struggle, in the middle of frustration, in the middle of all that. It is okay. And God sent angels to feed him. Well, no angels showed up, but it sure was nice to be in my place, just very quiet, not having to talk to anybody, obviously. I don't even think I had the TV on, because that was noise too. I just needed to be quiet. I did have my YouTube on. I had some music going on my YouTube, some Christian music, but I was done. I was done. I was going to rest. I wasn't going to talk to anybody. I was just going to sit. Yes, life hits us all at once. My phone is working better. Thank you, Jesus. My Medicare insurance is all in place. Thank you, Jesus. My car insurance is in place. I got a wonderful little email that said, welcome. What else did I tell you about? And my laptop. I got into that just today. All the things that I have struggled with all this week are finally resolved. Thank you, Jesus. I can't even tell you. But at the same time, we have to learn these things about when life hits us all at once. And maybe some of those things aren't real big, like a friend of my granddaughter's mother just lost her mother. We just got a call from some people that are connected to the worship center that one of the guys is in the hospital with congestive heart failure. That's a big deal. That's a lot bigger than what I went through, but it was a big deal for me. So please understand, even if it isn't maybe the biggest deal in the world, it's a big deal for you. And you have the right and the ability to call on God, call on people, help them, ask them. In fact, my laptop, I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get into it. And I was on the phone with a friend, and I said, well, if nothing else, I'd come over to your house with it. And they started laughing and said, I'm not going to be any help. I said, fine. Anyway, I was able to get in it. But we have the ability to reach out to others, reach out to God, rest, just not do anything anymore, and just see where God would guide us. So that's what I did through this whole week worth of craziness, absolute craziness. And as I was going through, God gave me verse after verse after verse. One of them, in the world you will have tribulation. Hello, you think? But I've overcome the world. Take heart, I've overcome the world. Another one, come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden. Hello, I will give you rest. I needed to rest. Another one, lean not on your own understanding. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. You know, when I was cut off from my phone and my laptop and every way else, the only way I could get a hold of anybody is by going to a neighbor or going to the office at the worship center. But it was a weird feeling not having any connection with, not being able to connect with anybody. Maybe that was God's way of me telling to sit down and rest. I don't know. But it's just weird how that all did that. Oh, this cute little guy right here, I had injured this hand while I was still working for for the agency I work for. And it was doing pretty good until I carried up some sacks of groceries up the steps. I grabbed those sacks just wrong, and I felt a pain go through here. See that? Yeah. And this little thumb hurts to move a certain way. So I dug this guy out today. I thought, oh, no, you don't. I'm left-handed. This is on my left hand. Guys, it's very hard to write when this is on your left hand or do anything else when that's your dominant hand. So, you know, it just, I just have to tell you that the things that I share are real and true. Maybe you're going through stuff like I did. Maybe you're going through stuff that's worse, that's harder. I know there's people that are going through stuff that's much harder. But you know what? Reach out to God and reach out to people. Get help if you need to. It doesn't matter if it's somebody. I was going to take my computer up to the computer shop up here if I had to. Get the help you need to be able to walk life well, to be able to walk life easily. Oh, and then there's Christmas coming. Less money, not working. I have 3 grown children who all have partners. I have 8 grandchildren. Some of them have partners, and 3 great-grands. All I see is dollar signs. But you know what? I'm excited about it. You know why? My favorite thing to do is to go into stores and find sales and dollar deals. If you look long enough, they're there. So I'm going to start tomorrow and go all around and start looking for dollar deals and start checking things out. But it's important, guys. It's important to reach out. It's important to get help. If you're struggling, maybe you're struggling with wanting to hurt yourself or others, please, please, please reach out to God and reach out to agencies. There's a ton of them. The 988 Suicide Lifeline is amazing. You can call them. You can text them. The police, the Y, the hospitals, your pastors, you call them. Reach out to them. Just had a young man today call the office because he's in a really difficult situation, started crying on the phone. He reached out. Praise God. We can walk with him through that and show him Jesus. And that's what we get to do. We have that opportunity to reach out to Jesus and reach out to others. He loves you. He loves you with an everlasting love. He loves you with a love that is big enough to help you get through all this. He loves you enough to walk you through these things. Even if it's illnesses, even if it's with family members that are having a struggle and you're having to take care of them. Hey, Roxanne, good seeing you. I just had a call today from somebody, a neighbor, who knows somebody I know, and who I took care of her, and come to find out she's struggling with dementia, and because of that, she's left her husband. So this whole thing is catapulted, you know? Reach out. And so my neighbor's helping him. She's not willing to talk to anybody, but she's helping him. So she called me for the names and numbers of agencies that could help him because he's not well. Reaching out, guys, reaching out to God and reaching out to others is amazing. It helps you. If you're struggling with feeling like you want to hurt yourself or others, please reach out and get help. It's okay. It really is. Reach out to God. And most of all, understand that we're here. We love you. And we're going to continue to pray for you. I may not see everybody or know everybody online, but you know what God does. And he's going to continue to keep watch on you. And I'm going to continue to love on you. Hi, Lisa. Good seeing you, honey. And I'm going to keep loving on you and just encouraging you. Yes, life gets difficult. I can testify to that after the last week I've gone through. But God can get you through it. He really can. I know some of the things are amazingly difficult. Love you too, Lisa. I know that. But you know what? God's even more amazing. And there are people there to help you. I love y'all. If this video helped you all, share it with others. This video will be set up on our YouTube channel, which is also called Friday's Hope as well. So you can watch it later on. Had a young lady tell me that there was a young man talking to her and they were talking about mental health. And I said, did you mention Friday's Hope? She goes, well, no, that's only on no, it's on here all the time. And it's on YouTube all the time. So I'm going to give her a bunch of my cards. But I love you. Keep seeking out people. Help. Keep seeking God. Keep sharing the love of Jesus with others. God bless you. You have a great night.